Okay everyone, how are you doing? What you're looking at there, that's assuming you're looking at the screen that is my shit hits the fan crossbow bolt pack. Basically that consists of, it's a pencil case that I've got from the supermarket, only cost £1. Let's just break it open and see what's inside. Now of course normally when I'm just target shooting I just use these cheap ABS bolts. And I've just got that in that's just a toilet roll tube with a bit of camo duct tape wrapped around it. That's just all that is, about 50 bolts in there, something of the sort. Now then, realistically, if the shit hits the fan, this is the pack that I'll be grabbing. For example, if some lethal force needed to be administered. What do I mean by that? I suppose if there was another Lee Rigby incident, I wouldn't hesitate in taking down the perpetrators. Anyway, let's get off that topic. So in here I basically keep, and then going from left to right, those brightly coloured bolts are pretty much what I would consider the best available on the market without having to do any modifications to them. And I keep about 20 of those. Second in from the left, of course, are my custom razor broadheads. I keep somewhere between 10 and 15 of my razor broadheads. And I also, of course, keep 2 of each of my Mark 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 explosive bolts. And here is a pack of 20 of a variety of bolt that I've made up. It is a combination of the black ABS shaft bolt, and I've put the tip from the wasp on the end. As I was saying, it's made up of the shaft of one of these standard ABS variety bolts. You can see at the top, and I've added the tip from the wasps. Basically, you can see the difference in mass. There's a lot more steel in the wasp tips. So even though they're only slightly longer, that bolt there you can see in the middle, the Manu variety, is actually a full gram heavier than the aluminium bolt. And the tip is extremely sharp and spiky, because I've even actually sharpened it further than it already is standard. So I consider these to be pretty damn lethal. I haven't really performed a great deal of tests on them yet because I've only knocked up 20 of them, so I'll keep 20 in this pack. But I certainly wouldn't like to be shot with one, that's for sure. Right, now then, just a quick couple of things about the explosive bolts I keep with me. As you can see, going from bottom to top, we've got the Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4 and Mark 5. The reason for these, I suppose, the purposes of them, I've had a few inquiries as to what they're actually for, specifically. So let's go over some of the applications for each one. The Mark 1 at the bottom, it's the easiest and cheapest to make, so I've got loads of those, and it's also the most effective on a hard surface. But it does need to be a fairly perpendicular impact, which is why the Mark II, which is, you can see second up there, first gold one, that one is basically designed, it's the same sort of thing, but it's got the spiky tip to cope with an angled impact. It also slightly increases accuracy because of the aerodynamic properties. The Mark III, the fat one right in the middle, that's my airburst. So the design around that is basically upon impact with the surface, it doesn't really cause a great deal of damage to the surface. It actually blasts out sideways due to the design of the charge. There's a blank there, and there's about shotgun cartridges worth of gunpowder all packed in an aluminium pen case. So like I say, the idea is it blows the aluminium case out sideways, causing shrapnel effect. The purpose of that, I suppose, would be if you've got someone that's leaning against a wall and you can't quite see them because they're out of the line of sight, you could hit the wall next to them and cause injury by means of a sideways blast caused by the airburst. So the Mark IV, that flat-nosed one there, that is a secondary penetrator. It's got a steel slug in just behind the blank round. So the idea of that is as soon as it impacts the target, the tip of the steel slug is actually 1 inch away from the surface, but is subsequently fired into the surface. So that's my secondary steel penetrator. The one at the top is the Mark V, and it's got 3 blank rounds actually stacked in tandem behind each other. So it's fairly reasonable to assume that a variety of targets can be attacked with the range of ammunition that I always carry with me. The ability of the Mark I to actually blow holes in things is quite outstanding, really. I didn't expect it to be as effective as it really is. This would be excellent for if you've got, for example, a car full of assailants. You could shoot out the window and at the same time cause everyone in the car to be deafened temporarily, if not permanently. We've got the Mark IV, the flat nose one in the middle there, SP, the steel penetrator, possibly armoured glass, or something that would require a spiky steel tip to be fired into it, I suppose. The razor broadheads would actually be quite effective, I would imagine, at shooting into some wires and causing shorts, and if not cutting wires, it would certainly cause a short across the 2 wires as it cuts through the plastic sheath and contacts the copper inside. So it would be an ideal electronic destruction device. The range is affected though by that having that blade on the front. It does slightly alter the aerodynamics, so it's really a medium to close range weapon, those broadheads. Possibly ideal for finishing someone off at close range, something like that. I would certainly consider these newly developed ultimate bolt that I've got here, a pack of 20. I'd certainly consider those my primary self-defense bolt. I would be absolutely amazed if when shot somebody didn't stop coming at me.